I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 31, a distinct identity part 4. While doing leg injury prevention training and participating in the leg injury prevention training is at your own risk. So we were just talking about in part 3 that England had started to trade. We know a bit more about what England was doing. We have craft workers during the Iron Age and in the Bronze Age already for 4,000 years. They had done things out of bronze, not just farming tools, but also ornaments and also of gold and also weapons. And now we had traded wool as an export. So in England, wool was traded to the outside, to other countries, and we were just the traders. People came to England from abroad to trade and also to work. But people were coming to England from abroad, so from other countries, because they wanted to do trading and to work. Many had special skills, such as weavers from France, I don't know what a weaver is, engineers from Germany, glass manufacturers from Italy, and canal builders from Holland. And did we build canals in England? Why not? There are a lot of rivers who are made to canals. So as far as I know, a canal is a river, but made by humans. So by humans made that it doesn't flow where it wants, like a river. But let's say we want a canal here or here, and then there's something digged, and then there's concrete sometimes, or in that time, I don't know what in that time, but and that the river flows in that place in which the people wanted it. So canal builders from Holland and glass manufacturers from Italy. I don't know what we were doing, but maybe we were something doing, like the Jopnissa stained glass, that thing. But we're going to do that in a moment completely again. But maybe we were also doing something else. And engineers from Germany, what are engineers doing? Here's no time frame. The next thing will be the War for Roses. And it starts within 1455. So it was way before the Industrial Revolution. So these engineers were not doing steam engines. What were they doing? We were engineering something. But here a new change in the type of buildings in Britain. An engineer can also do buildings, I would say. It's designed by architectures, but why should not have an engineer something to say with it? But it can't be, it is not sewage, it is not. So what were we doing? And what were weavers doing? I don't know what weavers are. So that is as proper from the start. Let's start with the leg injury prevention training. We're having the legs sitting wide apart, we're breathing in and going down. And we're breathing out. We're breathing in again. And out. Again in. And out. Last round in. And out. In and close the legs. And let's do the first exercise. We're having one standing leg, the other leg is with flexed foot in the air, and we're swinging that leg in front to side, front and to side. And we're just swinging it, and the foot is pointing more or less with the toes in front the whole time, so the foot makes that movement. A few times more, and then we're going to do the whole thing with the other leg. So we have read everything to that chapter, or to that section. The chapter is, I think, Middle Ages or something. The section is a distinct identity. And so we're through with everything, but I'm not really satisfied with what we know about this glass making. So we know about glass. That the glass manufacturers had come from Italy to do glass manufacturing, or that they had special skills already here. And so we know the following. Today, many are ruins, so many castles built in Britain and Ireland for defense. But still standing are Windsor Castle and Edinburgh Castle. And also great cathedrals were built like the Lincoln Cathedral, which are still in use, many of these cathedrals. Several of the cathedrals had windows of stained glass. So what is stained glass? So we don't know two names, stained and weavers. We have to find them out. Stained and And a stained glass example is in the York Minster. That is that picture. That is stained glass as it can be seen in the York Minster. So one example of stained glass is in York Minster. And oftentimes these stained glasses in cathedrals were telling stories of the Bible and of Christian saints. Well, I guess we have everything of that section. Let's do another exercise. And when we're gonna go over it again, we are having again a good standing leg, and the other leg is with the flex foot in the air, bringing it in front and back, in front and back. So we have glass manufacturers from Italy, now with the other leg, canal builders from Holland, and engineers from Germany coming to England who had skills. And England was doing trading business. For example, we were exporting wool. And we're doing the next exercise, bringing one leg up into a right angle with a flex foot, we're having even lined hips. We're tall up with the back. And then we're bringing the leg to the outside, and we're breathing in. And out, we're bringing the leg back into the middle, and control down. And we're going to do it again, the leg up, right angle with the leg, flex foot, even lined hips, tall up with the back. The leg to the outside, we're breathing in. And out, leg back, and down. Now with the other leg. The leg up, right angle with the leg, flex foot, even lined hips, tall up with the back. The leg to the outside, we're breathing in. And out, leg back, and control down. Again up, to the outside, we're breathing in. And out, back into the middle, control down. So during the Middle Ages in England, identity started to develop. What was it? National culture and identity. Nothing written where. But yes, we have quite something to the language. The ruling class, the lord and the king, were speaking Norman French, and the peasants were speaking Anglo-Saxon. Many words of the English language are from both languages. For example, was it cake? It was cow. Apple, cow, and summer are from Anglo-Saxon, and other words like partner, beauty are from Norman French, and there are oftentimes two words with the same meaning in English, and one is from Anglo-Saxon and one from Norman French. For example, demand is from French and ask is from Anglo-Saxon. And the English language had developed. Geoffrey Chaucer in 1400. Now it was a bit later. In 1400, documents had started to be printed in English, and the royal court and the parliament was speaking English. When was Geoffrey Chaucer? In the years leading up to 1400. Okay, both numbers 1400, nothing more distinct, I think is the right word. I'm not so sure about what the word distinct means. Maybe I should look it up too. So distinct, weavers, and stained glass. So around 1400, Geoffrey Chaucer had written Canterbury Tales, and that is the subject of that book, or this collection of poems, I think, is it a group of pilgrims who are traveling to Canterbury, that makes sense, if it's the Canterbury Tales, and they were talking stories while they were traveling on the pilgrim march to Canterbury, and that was one of the first books printed in English. I think it was the one with Caxton who did that. It was William Caxton. It was one of the first books to be printed by William Caxton, the first person in England to print books using a printing press. That was the important thing about William Caxton, that he was the first person in Britain to use a printing press. So there was something that it was the beginning of the printing press. The next exercise, we're bringing the leg up, right angle with the leg, flex foot, even lined hips, tall back. And now we're pressing from the inside against the knee. And now on the other side, leg up, and we're pressing on the inside against the knee. And the next exercise, we're bringing the leg up into a right leg angle with a flex foot, even lined hips, tall back. And now the knee presses up to the side, up to the side, up to the side. The knee presses up to the side, up to the side. And with the other leg up, right angle of the leg, flex foot, even light hips, tall back, and the knee presses up to side, up to side. And directly to the next exercise. No, not. We're done with all the exercises. We're doing the closing exercise, and then I'm gonna finish talking about what we had in the chapter and that section. A distinct, something distinct. And we're breathing out. Again in. And out. Now close the leg. And we're done with the leg injury prevention training. The name of the chapter is A Distinct Identity. So, many the building types had also changed during the Middle Ages, and lots of castles were built in England and Ireland, mainly for defense, or partly for defense was the exact word. And many of them were ruins, but for example, Windsor Castle and Edinburgh Castle are still standing, and cathedrals were built for worshipping, and Lincoln Cathedral is also still standing. And the Minster in York, or the York Minster, has a window out of stained glass. And England started to trade, for example, exporting wool, and engineers were coming from Germany, glass manufacturers from Italy, and canal builders from Holland. Did you get someone else? No. So, that is the end. I thank you very much, and until next time.